Hey, everybody. We are live.
Ooh, so it's always a good time.
It
Oh,
is. Sorry, I'm making sure that you guys can see us. Give me 1 second. We are here. We are in the building. We are talking all things Autism in Black Conference 2023, third annual Autism in Black Conference. Trying to make sure we are live. Good to go. Okay. So, I am Maria Davis Pierre. I am the CEO and founder of Autism in Black Inc., where our mission is to provide education, empowerment, and support to Black parents raising Black autistic children, as well as to train organizations on how to be less harmful to the Black disability community. So, we are happy to have you. Hi, Althea. Hi, Cheryl. They are on. Two of our speakers are actually watching right now with us. So, hi to both of you. And let's get into it. I know what I want to talk about, but I know Barry might want to get some of the some stuff out the way first before I get into my particular talk. So, I'm going to introduce my lovely husband, Dr. Barry Pierre, who is the tech guru behind all things Autism in Black organization. So go ahead and take it away, husband.
all right, y'all. First of all, good evening, everybody. It's gonna be the first of many lives this week. Hey, advocate. I'm not sure who's advocating.
That's Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl, how are you doing? Althea, I see you. I appreciate you. Two of my favorite people here, and I'm just excited. Y'all know how hard it is to pin this woman down, this crazy, busy woman down, and more importantly, how hard it is to get her to jump on the live screen. So I'm excited to just kind of get on here. I told her if she jump on, I will jump on. So I am kind of the background crutch, as you may say. And I'm just excited. I'm always excited, especially when we're talking about the Autism Black Conference. This is our third year going strong, which is still crazy when we think about it. It's still just kind of mind blowing to me that 2 years ago this was just an idea. 2 years ago, this was just an idea, and now we're getting ready for the third. And honestly, let me be honest, y'all. We're already talking about the fourth.
Yes.
Like, we haven't even gotten through the third one yet. We haven't even gotten through all of the amazing talks yet. We haven't even heard all of the amazing speakers yet. And we're already talking about the fourth. Maria already told me to, clear my calendar, say, hey, this is when we're doing conference number 4. So just to show you how dedicated she is, and if she's dedicated, obviously by default, I gotta be dedicated. So I'm just ready. I'm just ready to get on here and talk my stuff.
Yeah, and the reason that we're already talking about number 4 before we get into number 3 is that people are already asking for the dates. So we do have the dates, and we will be announcing those at the conference at the at the close of the conference. So make sure you get your tickets, right? The registration page is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Hello, Gabrielle. How are you doing today? The ticket registration is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, autisminblack.org/conference 2023. This year we are talking, our theme is cultivating the Black family experience. So we are, as you all know, we are blackity black centered over here. So this is our theme for the year. We are basically going to be deep diving into how to support Black families more. Black families who are raising autistic children, Black families who are raising children who are disabled. We are talking about how to really cultivate that experience from all angles, and how to better support our families, right? Better support us as parents, better support us as autistic individuals, better support our children as well. So that is the theme for this year's conference. We have over 20 amazing speakers who will be talking about many different topics. We have a topic on trauma. We have a topic on what else? Military children, autistic children, because it is different because of TRICARE and insurance. And I am a military brat myself, so that session actually has me really ready to listen in on. We're having a session on sex. Barry and I are doing a session on community. There are parenting sessions. We have just so many topics. So you can actually go to our conference page, see more about our speakers, and you can also go to our actual web page and see our schedule that breaks down all of the sessions and all of the speakers as well. And we will be using our Hoover platform again this year, which we got a lot of great feedback on. Babe, do you want to talk about the platform, because you are a tech guy?
Indeed, I think and the reason why we kind of did the theme with cultivating a Black family experience is last year, our second go around was our first deep dive experience when we were out like, wow, when we really operate like a community, this is how powerful it can be. So we had really didn't have no choice but to use this same Hoover app, which is an app that I think is amazing for virtual conferences, probably just regular conferences as well, but definitely virtual conferences. It allows you to stream directly within the app, whether you're on mobile, whether you're on desktop. It allows you to chat with all of the goers there, because when we did our first one, it was via Zoom. But if you were watching the Zoom like I was watching the Zoom, I didn't even know if you and I were watching the Zoom together. Mm-hmm. This go around, especially with this app, not only are you able to watch amazing speakers, but you're able to actually talk to a lot of the guests. You're able to see questions, see answers. We had multiple breakout sessions. We had exhibitor booths. We had discussion tabs. There were so many different things to do that you just had to be enamored, to the point where it was even a month after the conference, people were still using the app. People are still looking up resources. People are still talking to people. And that's what we wanted to do. But of course, it was short lived because, once, the conference is done, the app is gone, a little foreshadowing, right? So that's why we really wanted to make sure we brought that app again. And really, especially this year, we're going to be talking about community, more importantly, how we can move forward with it.
Exactly. So let's get into some really deep diving on why this conference is important, why I wanted to start this conference, why I started my organization as well. So tonight we are going to be highlighting some of the comments that we have gotten from individuals on our ads. Every year you guys see me get on these lives and talk about a lot of the disrespect, the hate that we get. And this is truly what fuels me to continue to do what I do, because I know that this is something that I'm experiencing just from hosting this conference. And if you can only imagine that we are getting these comments from hosting the conference, how are these individuals acting when they are in society? And some of these individuals are actually healthcare professionals. So how are they treating us? This is why this is so important. So my husband is going to pop up these comments, and we are going to get into why this conference is needed and is important.
So I think, and before I kind of start sharing, one of the toughest things, especially with saying, "Hey, I am Black," right, and more importantly, I represent Black, and I do for Black, is that you will always, and I do mean always, have someone on the other side say, "Why do you do that?"
Exactly.
Because when someone isn't centered, and why someone, we know who the someone I'm talking about, when a person isn't centered or a group isn't centered, they automatically feel encroached. They automatically feel less empowered with what they used to be able to go with, right? With the default standard. So I think one of the toughest things, especially when we started this organization, and especially for Maria, y'all know she's not the biggest social butterfly, especially on these social media streets. For those who follow me, obviously, Barry Pierre, but like I'm Dr. Barry, like outside of here. for those who follow me, I'm so used to it. I've been doing it for like almost a decade that like I've become kind of immune to it. But I know that especially a person who does not necessarily want to do this thing, but they have to because you have to do it for the community you serve, it could be tough to read and see what people's thoughts are. Like, again, I'm used to it. People have no problem telling me who I'm not. People have no problem me telling me who do I think I am. Like, they got no problem telling me that. I'm used to that. So don't even.
But and I think it's also your personality, because when I see the comments on your page, you literally stop me from commenting back. So it's also your personality. As you guys can see, Dr. Pierre is here to center me and keep me grounded throughout this live, because it has just been ridiculous lately. I think even more so this year, with the amount of comments that we have gotten from individuals. So let's get into it. I hope you all can see this. So this is a comment from our dear friend Lisa. So Lisa says,
we were gonna blur it, and I was like, why? They had no problem. They had no problem publicly putting their name out there.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm here for the blurring and to give you a little grace. But and especially because it's twofold, right? It's not like they are going on, Maria's page or one of Maria's regular posts and they're saying this. They're taking the time to go on an ad that we ran and then comment this, right? So now you and your hate is costing me money. So now that you and your hate is now costing me money because I got to respond, I say, let's just keep their name up there.
Exactly. So right, Althea, he is here to center me because he knows that he's here to keep me grounded, because we all know that I match energy, and Dr. Pierre is very much Michelle Obama. He likes to take the high road. So for me, let's talk about our dear friend Lisa and what she said, right? Lisa is saying that she thinks it's BS to make a child's autism diagnosis about race, and that is disgusting. She says one of these days that victim mentality will stop and cease being used to profit off autistic kids. It's just disgusting, right? And then she continues to go on about how she can feel the racism within my post, how I'm being divisive, how I shouldn't bring race into it, that I am in fact being shaming and belittling and things of that nature. And my for-profit got to get paid systemic racist BS, right? So this is my thoughts on this. One, anytime anybody just sees the name of my company, they automatically have a feeling about it. They automatically get defensive about it if they are not in fact Black. They just get up in arms about it. Every year we do explain that our conference is just not for Black people. We want all races, all cultures to attend our conference. And I want that because I know the numbers of Black people in healthcare profession positions, right? When we're talking about physicians, 2% of physicians are Black. When we're talking about psychologists, 2% are Black. When we're talking about therapists, 4% are Black. So our numbers are low. I want everybody to come to the conference so they can understand how to start harming the Black disability community. I want you to get the correct information and not misinformation when it comes to providing services to our community. I want you there, but understand that your story will not be centered. What is going to be centered is Black experiences, Black autistic stories, Black autistic experiences, right? We are centering our needs because more than often than not, they are not centered at these other types of conferences. You guys, I have seen ads for other conferences, autism conferences, that will have 30 to 40 speakers, and 2 of them will be Black, and they will not have one session that talks about intersectionality or the needs of diverse cultures when it comes to autism. Our needs are completely different due to intersectionality, right? When I am having to go advocate for myself or advocate for my children, I have to take into consideration that I am a Black disabled woman, right? So, I'm sorry, I was looking at a comment. I am a Black disabled woman. Not only do I, and I cannot separate those things, right? So when I am going to advocate in these systems, particularly the school system or the healthcare field, I am also dealing with not only ableism, but racism as well. We know how it is when we are going in to advocate for our children and they are not taking into consideration their culture. I know for a fact, personally and professionally, I am in many therapist groups where they do not understand intersectionality, right? I mean, our dear friend Lisa here states that she is a licensed therapist and she does not understand how race plays a part in our experiences. She herself would like to not see color, right? We do not have that privilege. I do not have that privilege to not see color. I am always hyper aware of how many people look like me are in a situation or environment that I am in, right? I go to a conference, I'm like, there's 5 of us in here, right? I can tell you how many were in my grad class, right? Dr. Barry can tell you how many were in his medical school class, right? Because it's something that we are hyper aware of. Our needs and experiences are completely different. We know the high rates of us not getting diagnosed within our community. We know that there is a gap specifically because of racism, specifically because of bias, right? Studies have shown that Black parents will go to their healthcare professional, talk about the developmental delays with their children, and healthcare professionals will not believe them. It takes 2 years from them, on average, starting that conversation to where there are diagnosis and interventions that come into play. 2 years from when I say that I think my child has a developmental delay, all because of racism and bias. So it is key that I sit on my platform and center Black stories. It is key that I have an organization that goes out and trains other organizations on how to be less harmful to the Black disability community. For me, our conference, our organization comes for 2 reasons. Number one, like I said, they're not centering our stories. They're not making sure that we're getting information on our needs. 2, the rate at which the actual information gets to our community is at a delay. So I am here to make sure that I am closing that gap for my community, that I am showing that that there is no shame to be a Black autistic individual, right? Because I understand what it's like in our community. So that is our dear friend Lisa. And
I just want to, want to follow up on as well too, because what happens, right? Especially when we get these types of comments, especially y'all could read. She got so much energy.
Mm-hmm.
She has so much energy. She is typing away. And in fact, because this is a mobile ad, so she's typing away on her phone, just to the point where, like, I have to go back and say, did I say something in the ad that would have you believe that I say, like, there's a couple of things that kind of jump out, right? This aspect of victim mentality. So just because we acknowledge an elephant in a room, they scream that we're talking about victim mentality. She has this aspect of, we would be upset if someone said they had a for-profit white people only autistic conference. So then I have to go back to the ad and say, did I say this was only for Black people? And of course I did it, right? Of course I did it. But so this is what they like. So you could write it in the most, and trust me, I write it, I send it to Maria edits, I edit the edit. So we go over like what we're about to put in to the point where we're exclamation marks and commas go. Like, we go over it to try to avoid it. But what I've realized especially for those like I call them like my Fox News watchers. Like they can see something that you don't really see. So it's always going to be difficult for someone like me and Maria to see what a person like Lisa is seeing, because regardless of how we type it, like it's just going to jump out on her. Like we didn't ask Lisa if she was a white grandma. We didn't ask Lisa about her mixed kids. We didn't ask Lisa about the other conferences, but she's going to make sure she volunteers that information for us. And again, I think it's scary when you have a person who is in the position, because it's so easy when a random Joe Blow who got no say in a child's life, no say in a parent's life, says something like this. What stands out to us is when we know that here are professionals who likely have a say in how your kids get taught, where your kids get taught, what type of services are offered to your child. When we see that, that is probably what's more scary to us than anything else. Not that there's Lisas in the world, is that fact that there's Lisas in the world who are in positions to block our children from getting all of the services they need, to block our parents, to block our friends, to block our family members to get the service. That is probably what's scary about it all. Not the Lisas. Like I said, I'm not going to lose no sleep over Lisa.
Exactly.
Lisa is not the problem. The problem is we know that Lisa is going to be in a position where she's like, and I think Althea said it best. So I don't see color. What that even means, I've never had a clue. I've never had a clue. But when they say that, I'm like, oh, okay, I already know the game, right? So I think that's what's disturbing, especially about a post like this. And mind y'all, we get posts like this every day.
Every day, multiple times.
So literally, like every day.
Every day.
So usually I'll tell Maria, hey, you know what? And mind you, and for those who, especially for those who follow me, y'all know I'm
but I will say, if you catch it and it's really nasty, he will delete it before I see it.
Correct. So, but I'm content king. So I'll say, hey, you know what? Let's make an example out of me.
Exactly. We take the screenshots. We take the screenshots of you. Right. I don't know if you have the one from Miss Nancy as well.
Let's see here. Let's see. You can see Nancy.
Let's see. And mind you, everyone, we are talking about Lisa, who is a actual healthcare professional, right? She is a licensed therapist, and she is saying that she would never tell her mixed grandkids to focus on the color of their skin and to use it as an excuse. Lisa is placing herself, by her privilege, in a conversation that she shouldn't be in. Lisa is talking about the experiences of her mixed grandchildren. I don't know what her grandchildren, what their race is, but we know that they are not only white. And she is inserting herself into a conversation where she has no experience. And this is something that is very common with the Lisas of the world. They insert themselves into these conversations as if they are the experts. How can Lisa, who has never been a Black person, talk about how she can go, or what she can tell her grandkids, and how we should experience life? Lisa also had said something else that I didn't post because it just baffled me. She started this conversation asking why I was doing this conference, right? She started the conversation seeking information. So I provided her that information about intersectionality. I provided her the information about the gaps in diagnosis for Black children. I provided her the information about how harmful it is when we're seeing some healthcare professionals just because of race, right? Lisa then proceeded to say that in Tennessee, there is no racism. Tennessee, you guys, that was just on the news, that there is no racism in Tennessee because In her grandchild's classroom, there are all types of colors of children. Lisa is confused on segregation versus racism, yet Lisa wants to insert herself into conversations that do not pertain to her. Lisa is the exact person that needs to be at the third annual Autism in Black conference, being quiet and listening to what is being said, because Lisa does not understand reality.
Indeed.
And is this Nancy's comment?
Yes, I believe.
Okay. So for part two, here's Nancy. I will give you a little background on Miss Nancy. Miss Nancy is a nurse, so she is also a healthcare professional. And she states, as a family member from another race with an autistic child, are we seeing the pattern here? They have children who, or grandchildren who are mixed, and they believe because of that, that this provides them some sort of expertise, that this provides them with some sort of permission to insert themselves into a conversation, right? So she says, I'm curious. Do Black children and families experience autism physiological, physiologically different than white or Asian children with autism? I am not certain as to why Nancy felt the need to highlight Asian children specifically in her comment. We would have to ask Nancy that, right? What does this program focus on that's different for the Black community and race here versus any other race? Why not just provide an autism program for all family or friends who need information? Everyone can use more help. The
I want to stop you there too, right? Again, we're going to see, again, is this theme that once you say, hey, I just want to talk to Black folks, like, hey, I just want to put the focus on Black people. Like, once you say that, immediately people start fighting for everyone else. No one seems to no one seems to include us when someone else does it.
Exactly.
No one seems to say, hey, hold on now. Autism speaks. Like, what about the Black folks? Like, no one seems to ever bring Black people up when we're not included. But the second we're mentioned, and again, especially Asian, you should have said Hispanic if we were going to go by the numbers, right? Like, every other group has to be included. And when you see a person start talking about, like, oh, what do they physiologically? One, that already tells you that they don't know the difference between physiology, right? They already don't know that definition, right? Because if they knew that definition, they would know that just being Black means you're going to physiologically experience things different than everyone else. When I talk about hypertension, when I talk about diabetes, when I talk about cholesterol, when I talk about any other disease, being Black means I'm going to experience that different than anyone else for a lots of different reasons. A lot of it usually is racism type. So once you start seeing that, we already know how the rest of the paragraph go. And like I said, Maria's good. I don't even be reading these long paragraphs. Once you hit me with the long paragraph, I'm just trying to decide if this is a screenshot or this is the delete. Like, that's all that usually is to me. Like, it's screenshot this, or I might have to delete this more often than not. But you can go ahead. I apologize.
No problem, husband. Let's see. The autism spectrum is wide. This advertising method here appears to be further segregate and divide people. Again, a pattern here. They are accusing me, a Black disabled woman, of segregating and being divisive, as if I created racism. Lisa and Nancy are both acting as if I created this conference just to be mean and spiteful. They are not understanding that this was created out of a need, that this was created out of a personal experience of our oldest daughter and what we experienced. Both Barry and I are both educationally privileged, and we have a certain level of financial privilege, right? Barry is a physician. I am a licensed therapist. We were talking to our colleagues in rooms with our colleagues when we were talking about getting the diagnosis for our daughter, and they were not listening to us. Our colleagues were not listening to us. They did not take in consideration our expertise as our child's parent or our expertise within our education, especially when Barry and them have the same education, right? They both went to med school. So this is where what we're talking about, race comes into play. We're talking about the fact that you are looking at our skin tone and cannot get past your biases to do your job, right? And again, another pattern here, Nancy and Lisa are both healthcare professionals. This is deeply disturbing to me, and it's very scary to me that they are both healthcare professionals and they do not understand the importance of acknowledging race. They do not understand the importance of acknowledging the fact that our experiences are completely different based on our race. They do not even understand what intersectionality is. You can read the rest of Nancy's message here, and I will tell you, me and Nancy went back and forth quite a bit because I had nothing else to do that day. And I was attempting to educate her, and then I just let it be. And Nancy then wrote me a long DM saying how she looked up the word intersectionality and how she understood more. But then our good friend Nancy decided to make an appearance today when Lisa was talking and sharing her experiences. And Nancy went on to like Lisa's post. Can you believe that? I can't. Um, Especially after getting that message from her, right? So this is another point that I try to make. A lot of the actions are performative, right? They truly do not want to understand, which is another scary thing. We are talking about individuals that we will be seeing, right? They could be our therapist, they could be our child's teacher, they could be our physician, our nurse, and they are not understanding that our needs are different. So if they're not believing that, then what's the chances that they're going to believe what we're saying, right? This is why my conference exists. This is why my organization exists, right? I want to close that gap. I want to provide a safe space for Black people to come together where they don't feel the need that they have to code switch, where they don't feel the need that they have to mask, where they don't feel that they are in an unsafe space and cannot let down their guard. That is one thing that we pride ourselves on with the Autism in Black conference, with anything that we do. And that is providing a safe enough space to where you will feel comfortable enough to let your guards down, take in the information, and talk about what you need, right? And get that support, because I know what it's like personally. I know what it's like professionally. Remember, I am a Black autistic woman. I am raising Black autistic children, and I am in the professional field. So I understand it, right? So it is scary for me to see the Nancys and the Lisas of the world who are these healthcare professionals who are navigating these spaces, and they are not understanding why this is a necessity. They are only seeing one word, which is the word Black, and they are making so many assumptions. They are assuming they can't come to the conference, that they are not invited, that, you know, this is racism upon racism, right? They love to use that word. So, you know, I wanted to highlight Nancy and Lisa tonight and talk about why their comments are the exact reason of why I keep going, because I know that hit dogs will holler. I know that when somebody is seeing something and they are getting defensive, they need to do the work and not me. I know that what I am doing is needed and wanted. You guys show me that every day. You guys show me much more love than the hate that I receive. You guys are purchasing the tickets, which tells me that this is something you need. You guys are making our podcast, chart in the United States, outside of the United States. So it shows me that this is needed and wanted. And I'm going to continue to stand on this platform and talk about Blackity Black, Black, Black experiences and center those experiences. Now, if you are not Black, don't feel like you can't come, right? Because you are invited, but you are invited to listen and learn and take that information, right? And then do less harm with the communities that you are working within, right? You have anything you want to say, my
No,
love?
yeah, no, I think that's it. I think it's just this aspect of every time we run into a Lisa or a Nancy, it just powers us more and just reaffirms. Because a lot of times, especially when you start out, say, "Hey, I'm going to make an organization. I'm going to call it Autism in Black." Yeah, I'm gonna get some pushback, but every time I get pushback, it's because I know it's from ignorance. I know it's from just a lack of knowledge. Mind you, again, she's arguing. She didn't even know what intersectionality was, and she was arguing against it. Like, so they're just not genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're not genuine, and again, it'd be another thing if they, you know, just serve fries or something, but they're in positions of power that will negatively harm our community specifically.
Exactly.
And then those same people will then turn around and say, I don't know why the community isn't doing that great.
Exactly.
So this is why we continue to do what we do. And again, when next year comes around, there's gonna be more Nancy's. There's gonna be more. I don't know what's her name. Lisa. There's gonna be more Lisas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we just know it, and it just continues to grow to the point where I think this today must have been. They had a lot of energy today. So what typically happens is once one Lisa sees the post, they
Mm-hmm.
share it. They share it to another Lisa, and then another Lisa, and then another Lisa. So we understand that. That's okay, right? We our community shares as well too, but we
Exactly.
know what happens when that community shares
Mm-hmm.
and they get the typing. They're typing warriors. Just boop, boop, boop. Typing warriors costing me money in my ad. Just typing away, typing away, and that's why we have to bring the energy every now and then, right? A lot of times we don't focus on it, but every now and then we got to bring the energy just so they know that we're okay with that too.
Exactly.
Like, again, I have a whole series where I literally just comment on people who comment crazy stuff on my stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so we're okay with that. Like, again, if we had more time, we trust me. If we had more time, we would do more of this.
Yes.
We just don't have the time because then that takes away from our community.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, that's literally the only reason why y'all don't see us highlighting a Nancy every single day, is because then that takes away from the message, that takes away from the energy, and that takes away from the focus, and we're not gonna let them take the focus away.
Exactly. And be assured that we are, checking the comments and banning the disrespectful people as well. And that's usually how we handle a lot of it, especially when I just do not have the energy to respond after I've responded so many times on saying the need, why I do what I do and the need for this conference. I do just start banning and blocking people. So we don't focus a lot on this aspect of it. But today we felt like we needed to highlight it because it just proves to me why our conference is needed. It just proves to me why our organization is needed, because we have healthcare professionals. We have those in positions of authority, positions of power, who are out here, like Dr. Berry said, who are out here assessing our children, right? If you can't see color and you don't understand intersectionality and you don't understand how my experiences are different, and especially as a clinician, you don't understand that as that Black people characteristics present themselves completely different than what's in the DSM, then that is a concern. That is why we have the gap, right? That is why you're not listening to Black parents when they bring their concerns to you, because that you don't understand and you don't care to educate yourself, and you automatically think that it's not something that is a concern. And that is why we continue to do what we do, because we want to help Black parents provide that support that they need to advocate for themselves, advocate for their children, give them the right terminology to use to go into these sessions and appointments with these people in positions of power, and use the right terminology to say, hey, this is exactly what I need, and this is exactly what I need you to do. We are providing a safe a space for them to know that it is okay to fire your healthcare professional and get a new one who's going to be culturally responsive and understand, right? Because that can be a very difficult thing in our community. So we are providing you with all of these skills and tools that you need to better advocate for yourself and better advocate for your children, right? I know we have some questions here. Cheryl says, how do you protect your energy from these kinds of attacks? One, I have a great support system, which I think is important and is really the foundation for what we do. We focus on community. And that is what I am showing, the attendees, that focusing on your community and having a great support system can be invaluable because they can reel you in when need be. You can vent to them when need be. You have somebody who's going to understand what is needed for you, and they're going to provide that. So I really rely on my support system in my community. And I also know that they're upset because, they just do not understand. I know that what I'm doing is needed. And I know that just the word Black is a trigger word for a lot of people. And those people are not my audience. And those people are not who I'm trying to get to come to the conference, because I know who my audience is. I'm not for everybody, and I get that. But what I do not want is you thinking that you can just talk to me reckless or talk to me sideways, and that's going to be okay. But I protect my energy from them by leaning on my support system and staying true to who I am.
Now I'm weird because I love it. I love that negative energy be driving me. I get so hyped and again, it's because I'm very mission driven.
Yes.
So when you're mission driven, you understand that there are going to be some obstacles. You understand there's going to be some missteps. But more importantly, you're going to understand that there's going to be people in your ear telling you that you're not doing the right thing. So once they come up on my timeline, I'm like, ooh, all right, that means I'm going. That means I'm going in the right direction. Because if no one is telling me that what I'm doing seems outlandish, what I'm doing is not purposeful. If no one is telling me that, like, all right, I must not be going hard enough. But when the Nancys and the Lisas of the world, they come around, and then I know in their heart that they got to spend a lot of time typing away on their iPhone or Android to say something that I'm going to look at for 2 seconds. I'm like, oh, and decide what I'm going to do with it. Like, I know that hurts them more than it hurts me, and it just gets me on my day. So I do the attacks are very welcome for me. And of course, obviously, not everyone's built like me, right?
Exactly.
I understand.
Because I'm not. And I don't want y'all to get it twisted. He is talking about him and his page. He ain't talking about the Autism in Black page. He is not talking about bring that energy over here, because we are two different people. And trust him and understand that Dr. Berry does not watch my page when we aren't running ads. So it is just me that is giving you that response. So yeah, take that to him.
Yes, please do.
Take that to him. But yeah, do you guys have any questions about the conference? Make sure that you are going to autisminblack.org/conference 2023 to secure your seat. We do have 3 ticket options this year. We have our general admission, where you get all of the sessions happening on the 29th and the 30th, and you get access to all of the caption recordings as well. Then we also have our VIPs who will be having the 28th as well, in addition to the 29th and the 30th. And on the 28th, our VIPs get a group session with me, and they also have access to a professional panel session where they get to ask professionals from all different types of backgrounds their burning questions that they need. We have a doctor, therapists. We have so many professionals that are on this panel. And you also get the VIP box that is filled with goodies. 2 of the goodies that I want to highlight is, 1, the coloring book. You can see it right behind Dr. Berry right there, that me and my daughter, our 10-year-old, published. And then, yep, there you go. The Express Yourself Feelings coloring book, authored by me and our 10-year-old Malia. And then we also have the Afrotistic book by one of our amazing speakers, Kayla Allen, which is also going to be in the VIP box. So you get those two books in addition to many other surprise goodies. And then we have our Platinum VIP ticket option, which you get everything the VIPs are getting, everything general admission is getting. You also get a private session with me Saturday after the close of day one of the conference. We are doing a paint and sip. We have customized Autism in Black bags that we will be painting, doing a little bit of sipping and chatting. And then you also get a one-to-one session with me. And this was a highly requested ticket option that we got. And, Dr. Barry has taken me away from doing a lot of one-to-one work. But we have made sure to add this as a ticket option so that you can get a one-to-one session to use for professional coaching for your business. You can use it for family coaching, one-to-one individual coaching, or parent coaching as well. What do you have to say, husband?
Yeah, no, I think for sure, get your tickets. We already know how it's going to happen. We got like 2 weeks left. We already know that last week tickets are going to be flooded. Now we want to do, especially because we want everyone to be onboarded to the app, is for them to have time to familiarize themselves with the app. Now, if you buy your ticket the day before, the information still be there, but we would like people to, have some time to kind of get comfortable with the app. That way, on the day of the conference, you could just rock out. And mind you, this app is so user friendly that it just like your regular, like a Facebook, like a Twitter, you log in, you go, and then the lectures are going to be there. The discussion boards are going to be there. The exhibitor section is going to be there, which I encourage everyone who is going to the conference. Not only do you need to check out every lecture, and even if you don't remember, you guys getting recorded forever. So even if you miss it, but more importantly, check out the exhibitor booths for our speakers, and we're going to have some exhibitors as well. Because then you could definitely directly connect with them. A lot of them are doing some amazing things on their own right. Again, I'm surprised that they're even spending some of their time to be with us. But you can follow them. All of their socials will be there. If they're offering any items, any consultation section, some people are going to be discounts for what their services are. So not only do you go to the lectures, but you also check out the booths. And because of the app, you'll have like prizes as well for doing so. So, if you check out all of the booths, you check out some discussion boards, you answer some questions, you'll get opportunities. Not only, I think last year we gave out merchandise,
VIP box,
books. Is like we gave out a VIP box. Like, so the opportunity is there for it. In fact, I'll even give out a ticket for next year. I'll throw that in there. So we're gonna make sure y'all visit our exhibitors. Like, I want y'all, don't slip on that, because that's something I want to make sure. Not only because all of our speakers will have an exhibitor booth, so you'll be able to check in with them, make sure you follow with them. But I want to make sure you follow all the other people who are a part of it.
Yes. And I'm going to answer Cheryl's question here. How many sessions are we holding? So we have live sessions that are happening Saturday and Sunday. And I think we have about 8 sessions happening each day and 2 panel sessions. And that's for our live days. So Saturday, we have our autistic adult panel session that is happening in addition to our other live sessions. And this panel session, you get to ask all your burning questions to autistic adults who have maneuvered through society into adulthood, right? So you get to ask those questions and get those experiences from us. And then Sunday, we are having our live sessions, and we have the parents panel. So we have parents who are raising children from all different ages, some who already have children that are in adulthood, and some who have children that are newly diagnosed, and then us who, we've been doing this thing for a while here. So, we have those 2 panel sessions in addition to all of the live sessions. But we also have our pre-recorded sessions that will already be in the vault for our attendees, and they get access to that on the 30th. And I believe we have 5 or 6 pre-recorded sessions that will be already in that vault for you all. We have one that I know a lot of people are looking forward to. That is one of our pre-recorded sessions, and that is TJ of non-functioning autism, who will be talking about AAC devices and communication, and the importance of assistive technology and understanding that role in communication. So I know that that is one of our sessions that a lot of people are looking forward to, and that is one of our pre-recorded in the vault sessions that people get access to on the 30th. And then, of course, after all of our live sessions are done and make sure the captions are there, they are also uploaded into that vault for everybody to have lifetime access to. Well, I think we have really enjoyed spending our time here with you guys on Facebook today. We are actually going to just jump over quickly to Instagram and talk with them a little bit. The vibe over on Instagram is completely different than the vibes here on Facebook. So we will not be doing another Nancy and Lisa session over there. We are more laid back and chill over there on Instagram. The vibe is completely different. So you're more than welcome to hop on that. And we will, like Dr. B said, we will be going live very frequently, and we will, at least we are going live every day on one of our platforms. So you'll either see us here on Facebook or on Instagram daily talking about the conference and answering your questions. Also, make sure to check out our podcast as well. I just dropped a new episode talking about what it's been like in the year since getting my diagnosis. So check out the podcast, secure your ticket. And we want to see you the last weekend in April, chilling with us that weekend on the Hoover app and getting all of this safe space, community, and education that we will be getting. So thank you all for joining us. Make sure you're getting those tickets, and we'll see you back here.